Good morning. Now from Magpi Brewing. So when I brewed my sleeping magpie, I mentioned the fact that not only was it going to be cubed, it was actually, I was going to do a bit of a comparison between a Tilt Pro and the new Hydrom Electronic Hydrometer that I purchased off Keg King. So that's in progress at the moment. So I'm 2 days into the fermentation, and I thought we'd have a look at this fermentation because I had to put it under pressure a bit earlier than I normally would. It really took off. I've got 47 litres of beer and I put 3 packets of Verdant IPA yeast in it. So, and it's really taken off. So we'll have a look at that fermentation and it'll give you an idea of how these two electronic hydrometers may differ in the readings. I've already seen some dips, especially when I put it under pressure, but we'll have a look and might. Hello, it's Neil from Magpi Brewing. A couple of weeks ago we knocked out a brew, the Smashing Magpie, and it was with that brew I done my first cube brew, and I thought it'd be interesting to see how it turned out. So that brew's done now, and just in the background there you can see I'm pouring one out. So what I've done something that I don't very often do, so I could get this video out, because there was 2 things we done in this video. One was we cubed the beer and then fermented it, and the other one was we done a bit of a test with the new Hydrom Electronic Hydrometer from Keg King and my Tilt Pro. So I got out of the keg and I rolled it around with, I put 25 psi in it and give it about 2.5 minutes or so and charged it up, and it's actually charged up pretty well. So we're gonna have a drink of that and have a look at that. Gonna have a look at the ferment. So there we go. So as you can see, it's a very, very active fermentation. But folks, that's 3 days. This is the 3rd morning, so and it's still strong as. So so it's going to be interesting to see what my readings are, because it's really going to put the Hydrom and the Tilt Pro. It's going to leave a bit of krausen on the top, and it's going to give them a bit of work to do. As you can see, I've put it under about 7 kPa of pressure, which is not normal for me. I normally leave it, but I had to put it under pressure to contain the krausen. As you can see, the krausen's actually gone down about probably 2.5 centimetres to what it was up. So it really fired up. The old Verdant IPA from Lulmend. Really nice yeast. There's still quite a bit of activity going on there. So here's our ice cream, beer. As you can see, it fermented out very clear. One thing I done with the cubing, as explained in the video, I only put hops in at 0 flame out, and then I done a 20-minute whirlpool, and then my compensation for the hoppiness of the beer was to do a quite a large dry hop, and it was a very vigorous ferment. I'm not real sure. I have my ideas about it, and my ideas, they're only my ideas. But by tipping the cubes into the 60 litre Keg King Apollo, overall you get a bit of a cleaner wort, I think, and when you tip it in, when you tip the cube in, of course you get that oxygen flow. So looking at the beer, it's not the best glass to show you, is it? It's very clear, especially for something that I only got out of the fermenter a few days ago and slapped a bit of carbonation into it so we could have a look at it. Taste. Yeah, the hops are there and they're quite nice. I'm not real sure how long the hops will, whether the hops will, aroma flavour of the hops will stay in this beer for as long as what a 10, a 5, a 0, a Whirlpool and a dry hop will. So we might come back and in another video we might have a look at that to see how quick it takes the hops to disperse and go lose their hoppiness, the fruitiness, and then go to that earthy that hops normally do. But to continue on with the video, I'll have another drink. Oh, it's not bad. It's pretty good. Pretty drinkable. The other part of the ferment was to compare. Wasn't really it's more a review on the new Hydrom Electronic Hydrometer from Keg King, which I purchased off them. But anyway, that was it for the ferment. The cubing hasn't hurt the fresh beer. Let me tell you that. It's actually, it's a little bit hoppier than what I would normally find on a fresh beer. In a couple of weeks' time, it'll be interesting, and I might drop a note on my next video to see if those dry hops last and the hoppiness lasts as long as normal beers. But certainly the cubing, I'm going to try it on a wheat beer and probably my chocolate vanilla porter that I do. And I don't think I'll change the recipe at all for those, because both of those beers I let sit, the porter sit for 3 months or 4 months sometimes, and of course I lager the pilsners and lagers. So I'm thinking that cubing is not going to hurt those beers a great deal, because most of the hops will go in early in any case. Okay, so that's Neil from Magpi Brewing, enjoying the smashing Magpie. And I really enjoyed the Hydrom and the tilt comparison. And if you don't get to watch the more in-depth comparison that I'm going to do, my preference would be the Hydrom.